Hey, what's up, guys? Back for another deck profile here. Now I have the updated Dragon Link list for you. I'm actually super happy with how the deck turned out. The Chaos Ruler, he will be forever missed, most definitely. But I'm actually super excited about the deck. It's actually very good at going second, too, which I'd learned. I lost, I think, 75% of my die rolls or whatever, and I still won most of those games. And so I was super happy with it. So without further ado, guys, updated Dragon Link. Still a 60 carder. I know you can see that. Hey, huh? Ooh, that card's actually just broken. I wish Zombie Vampire was a little bit better. But, you know, with Tier. So.
You got a white fuzzy on your sleeve.
Where?
Under, right there.
Oh. That's all right. Okay, so let's get right on into it. All right, so like I said, 60 carder. Like I said, first starters always. Red MD, the 3 black metals, and the 3 Safers. So I'm gonna talk about these real quick. You can stay on here, babe. There's actually, I was playing 2 red MDs because if you open this card's not a hard once per turn to search this twice. Obviously, this is a hard once per turn now because of the errata. But this card is like the main normal summon you always want to see. Safer is good, but with the Brave engine, it's kind of, you know, iffy. But it's probably the best normal summon you could get outside of, you know, just other random shit. So, and then for the Rocket package, we are still playing Rockets. We did cut down the ratio though. Still playing 3 Tracer. I like to see this card as the normal summon because even worst case Ontario, worst case scenario, if anyone got that joke. You can normal summon this, make Striker, add Boot Sector, Striker, target, pop itself to add this back to hand, Boot Sector, summon this, pop the Boot Sector, get Recharger, then make Savage. It's 1 card Savage with 1 material. Not ideal, but just to point that out. Then I'm only playing 1 Rocket Synchron. This card is, we're only playing this for a different name. This card's virtually, yeah, dude, shout out the freeway. This card's virtually useless in the deck. It's a good normal summon, but there's no Chaos Ruler anymore, so you know, the cards that you're accessing with it are a little worse. So, but this does have an application going second, but it's also just a nice card in general. So, but it's, you know, it's not as good as it once was. I'm only playing 1 Abs Rider now. You only ever need 1 of this card ever. These don't really matter in your combo line unless you draw Chaos Space. Chaos Space plus a discard is Borland Savage. If you guys don't know that combo, go back and look at my other videos. And then let me go to this now. The most important card in the deck, I feel like, Dragon-wise, is the Knock Division. This card is like your only like real turbo card. Card is very important. It still gets you into all the plays that you want. And you know, the draw one is very important as well because you need as much resources as you can get. We don't play from the graveyard anymore, so the light and dark count don't matter at all. And then for the 1-ofs, obviously the Black Dragon, White Dragon, still playing Destrudo. Destrudo is still very good. The Leveneer and Leveneer is still very good. We're playing Galactic Spiral still. This card is important for the Alce, but I'll talk about that a little bit later. And then the last one for the Dragons is the Grand Tusk. So Grand Tusk, this is a level 8 Earth. I wish it wasn't Earth, but it is. It doesn't really matter at this point because we're not playing from the graveyard like I stated. But what you want to do too is there's certain lines of combo play, but usually you want to seal up top with Dagda after you set the Scythe, and then on your opponent's turn you'll seal, bounce a monster after they play a little bit, bounce a card. Tag into this. Grand Tusk will pop the Scythe and one of their cards, and then you'll Scythe lock them. Plus, this card is a level 8 for the Alce. Alce is actually kind of important in this deck, so you can come back down here, dude. So definitely 1 Grand Tusk for sure. And then we are playing the Brave stuff, just for a very consistent engine. You know, and I have a couple cards in my honorable mention after this that I do want to talk about. So, and obviously, people know that you can make fucking Romulus with this, with the Griffin Rider. So. And then the last 1-ofs, we are playing, still playing the Gizmek because of the Alce. Also, just a very good extender. We are playing the DPE stuff. I chose Dasher over Plasma for this list because I don't really go super heavy into Nib. Not that Nib is popular in the format at all. If you Nib Tier Lament, like, they just don't care. So I took Nib out. I'm not playing Nib at all. Tier is probably the best deck of the format right now. pre-Darkwing Blast, even though the deck gets even more cards in Darkwing Blast. I think it's still probably the best deck, but Dragon Link Forever, best deck. You already know, dude. And then the last one of is the Scythe. We are playing the Scythe, as I explained. So, obviously, Scythe couples with the if you open like Scythe Fusion Destiny or Dagda Fusion Destiny, or there's so many ways to get to Scythe, and like the seal into Grand Tusk to pop the Scythe. If you hard open it, honestly, hard opening Scythe is very good, to be honest. So then the only hand traps I'm playing is 3 Crow. I think Crow is the best hand trap right now, outside of D Shifter, but obviously this deck can't play it. And I am playing 2 Ash. I still hate Ash, but this card needs to be played. The only reason I'm playing 2 is because I was playing 3, and every single time I would draw this, I would draw 2. So I cut it to 2, and now I see it in 1, which is very fantastic. I'm happy with it. Obviously, if you don't have that problem, you can play 3 Ash. I'm just saying this is what works for me personally, is the 2 Ash. So, and that's the end of the monsters. And then for the spells, we are playing the 1 Boot Sex, the 1 Ravine, the 1 Foolish, the 1 Call By. And then we are playing 1 for 1. 1 for 1 into Black Metal is just, this is like insane in this deck. Super happy with this card. 1 for 1 is definitely broken. And then for the adventurer stuff, the brave stuff, Draco back in the main for sure. Draco back's such a free card for this deck, for like the discard, the pop for tracer, all that stuff. Fateful Adventure, obviously 3 rights of Aramasir, and then 3 Fusion Destiny. I haven't bought a 3rd one yet, just because I just refuse to buy a $15 super. So, but I want to buy Altis soon, so because I really like DPE. So, but yeah, 3 Fusion Destiny. This card is just fucking gross. I'm actually gonna come back to this in a second. Then obviously the 3 Chaos Space, the 3 Quick Lunch, very standard, and then the last 6 cards we are playing Dark Ruler in the main. I'm not playing Imperm anymore. I think Imperm is kind of lackluster against Tearlaments. It's very good. It's still a very insane card. I just think that, Borland Dark Ruler is just fucking broken. And then we are playing Talents. That new Talents card's gross, too. But we are playing 3 triple tactical Talents. And also, there's been a couple times, the reason I want to point this out is because the Talents sometimes would draw me, because everyone hand traps you. That's just going to happen. Especially against Dragon Link, they think the deck is fragile, which it's not fragile at all. This deck is very resilient. But I like the Talents with the Fusion Destiny engine, because there's been a couple times I got hand trapped and chose to draw 2, and I would just draw like Fusion Destiny something else, and it was just very nice. So I think Talents Fusion Destiny is just very, very good for the deck. That's all I have to say about that. And then for the extra deck, the extra dip. The 1 Striker, 1 Pisty, of course. 1 Romulus, 1 Seal. This is fucking Dagda. Mine just hasn't come in the mail for some reason. I sold it back when it went up before the list. And just none of my play group has one, so that's Dagda. And then we are playing the Delindrus, the Degenerate Dragon, the Quad Whirl. Obviously, the Chaos Space with these 2 in your extra is Borland Savage. Then I'm playing the IP, a couple with the Unicorn, of course. Unicorn's the only Link 3. And then the Access Code, the Borland, of course. A lot of these plays from this deck, too, is a lot of the opening turn, if you're not going Adventure into the Seal Scythe, you're usually Borland Savage. That's usually like the standard if your hand is mediocre. And then for the rest of the extra deck, obviously the 1 DP, the Savage. This would be Chaos Ruler, rest in peace. But we are playing Scarlight in the main deck. Outside of fucking Omega, Scarlight's like the only synchro you would play. I do have cards in my honorable mentions that I do want to talk about. I just enjoyed playing this card in the main deck. So in the fucking main deck. And then the last card is the Alcei. This card is just it's a generic rank 8, light, 2300 attack, 3200 defense. Once per turn, you can call the top card of your deck, send it to graveyard. Excavated, call a card name. If it's the card that you named, you will draw it. If not, it is sent to graveyard. And then he has a second effect. Whenever a card is sent from your deck to graveyard, you can detach one and then spin a card or bounce a card on the board. This card is very good. It's definitely better than Zombie Vampire right now. Zombie Vampire is so bad right now because of Tearlaments. The card will definitely come back sometime, but I think the Alcei is just very good right now. So There also has been a couple games like where I was just like, oh, I'll just try and make this, and then be like, oh, Fusion Destiny or Triple Tactical Talents, and it hit Fusion Destiny one time in 60 cards, and I was like, yo, that's crazy. And then I do have a couple honorable mentions. Also, there is I have 3 other Dragon Link lists pre-Darkwing Blast. I will, as you guys know, be buying the Bistlead, whatever the fuck they renamed it, the Bisted stuff. But the honorable mentions that I did want to talk about was Illegal Knight. I really like this card, personally. I think this card is very good. Giving this to your opponent on their board, chaining to mine is very good. The second, Red MD, this one's Italian, because I wanted to see which one that I drew more. But if you open Black Metal, you usually, if I was playing 2 of these, I cut the second one for the Galactic Spiral. But if you play 2 of these, Black Metal gets you into both. Obviously, the card's not, since it's a hard once per turn, but it's just a free add to hand, which I think is kind of important for the deck. The third Ash, you could play that too. Just wanted to mention it. And then for the other extra deck monsters, the Dark, I cut the... what did I cut? I cut both of these. This was for the Alcé, and this was for the Scarlight. You could definitely play these if you don't have either of those or don't want to play them. However your extra deck wants to be. Also, the Hot Red that they inadvertently killed because of Chaos Ruler going away. You could play this, like I said, with the Scarlight or Omega. Omega's a light, though, which is kind of a little rough because obviously I don't play Gamma Driver. I just can't personally play those cards. You guys know that. Obviously, if they work for you, definitely play them. I just keep drawing Driver, or I'll draw Gamma for turn and just want to vomit. And then this is a card that I really wanted to talk about. I think you guys should definitely have your set of these. Curse Seal, the Forbidden Spell. I think this card is going to be really insane, this format. It's not like super broken against tier limits, but it's really good against like everything else. Obviously, it hits their field spell, but it hits Mystic Mine. It hits a bunch of rogue decks like the Engage. Hits Fusion Destiny. Whatever you hit with this too, your opponent can't activate it. You can still activate it. So if I hit like Fusion Destiny with this, you're still fine. I just want to point this card out because I will be playing this card in quite a lot of things. Also, with like the Spellbook deck, like this card's just very good against that. Not that, but that deck is very good rogue. I will have a list of that Dogmatica Spellbook soon. Yeah, guys, I hope you enjoyed that. I will, like I said, have more lists of Dragon Link. I have, like I said, 3 more lists pre-Darkwing Blast. Yeah, guys, thanks for watching. We always miss Chaos Ruler. Cheers.